everyone. I know we need to keep people hydrated, so those of you at the bar, feel free to stay in line there. But in lieu of paying attention to everybody's time here tonight, we do need to get our program started. Good evening, Viking family. My name is Corey Anderson, and I am proud to welcome you to the 38th Viking Hall of Fame ceremony. Tonight we gather to celebrate excellence. For nearly 4 decades, this Hall of Fame has stood as a testament to what it meant to wear the Viking colors. The courage, the commitment, and the drive to leave a legacy that's bigger than ourselves. This event gives us a chance to pause and reflect on the incredible individuals who've carried the Viking tradition on with pride. Tonight we add to that legacy, recognizing athletes, coaches, and teams whose contributions remind us that Viking pride doesn't end when the final whistle blows. It carries on for a lifetime. We're very grateful to Valley City State University for providing the opportunity to host this event. We're grateful to the Eagles Clubs, to the Eagles Club, and Jenny for the meal that she has provided for us and for hosting us on this occasion. And the nearly 200 people that have filled this room, which is an awesome testament to those of you going into the Hall of Fame. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce to you to the man that's been steering this Viking ship through growth, through recognition, and through plenty of other successes. Please welcome President Alan Lefebvre.
Woo! Hey!
Thank you, Corey. Welcome, everyone. Welcome home. It's great to have you here. It's my pleasure to just share a few opening remarks. What an honor it is for us to gather this evening and celebrate achievements that happened not only when you were students here at VCSU, but achievements that have continued throughout your professional careers. We're so honored to be able to pay that respect and significant contributions that you made and make everyone around the room aware of it as well as our VCSU community. You know, we have a 135-year history at VCSU, and this year we're celebrating 100 years of Valley City athletics. Corey cleaned me up. By the way, I really like that new logo. I think that looks terrific. But there have been so many outstanding things that have been happening just recently here at VCSU. In fact, Mark Potts, our Director of Public Relations, has been pumping out the press releases daily. And there's just so many great things that we can celebrate together. Our 3rd fall semester in a row of record-breaking enrollment. Our AI Institute being approved by the State Board of Higher Education. Our continued rankings by U.S. News as the #1 public regional institution in North Dakota, and the #2 in the entire Midwest, which is a 12-state region. That all happens because of our people. And I'm just so moved by the fact that I've gotten to see a lot of you this evening and gotten to visit with many of you, many former colleagues, folks who retired, and are enjoying that part of their life. There, we back? All right. So anyway, we're glad you're here. And I'm reminded of a quote that goes all the way back to the 12th century. It's attributed all the way back to the 12th century. And that quote is, "On the shoulders of giants." On the shoulders of giants. When you look around our campus today, and you see the excitement that's happening, not only for the entire campus community, but the athletic program specifically, they are living, being college athletes, being college students here at VCSU on your shoulders, on the path that you laid for them. And so thank you to all of you for that. I hope you enjoy the evening today. I hope to have a chance to visit with you throughout the weekend. And go Vikings.
Thank you, Dr. Lefebvre. Before we eat, we're fortunate to be led in an invocation by a true Viking legend. Coach Jim Dew served as both the head football coach and baseball coach here at Valley City State University. During his remarkable career, he racked up 388 wins and guided the Viking teams to an incredible 13 conference championships. That's dominance at any level that few can match. He was inducted into the Viking Hall of Fame back in 1998, and I don't think that coaches Horner or Mack or I could be there that night, Coach, because I think we're in the middle of an 0-10 season and we're trying to find a win somewhere. He also has a record for having the most sons into a Hall of Fame, and you'll get to put one more in tonight. So, with that, please welcome Coach Jim Dew. Thank you, Corey.
Bill Osmond, his crew were leaders of that. Those are your crew, your leaders. Congratulations to all the current Viking Hall of Famers, individual, team, coaching Hall of Famers. It's just great to see so many guys. In fact, do me a favor, all of the current Hall of Famers, please stand. Let me see how many. Let me see Now, a special welcome to our new Hall of Fame individuals, and a team being inducted, a great football team. It's just been it's been great, and what a way to celebrate the 100th year of athletics in Valley City State. If you would please, if you're able to, stand for our invocation, please. Dear Lord, thank you so much for all that you've given to all who have gathered here tonight. So many Vikings, past and present, parents and friends. We're just very fortunate. We ask you to bless this food that we're sharing and bless this weekend and all the homecoming activities. Thank you, Lord. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach. And with that, you will have meals plated to you by the staff here at the Eagles. So we'll do a 10-minute timer again as before we start our program. So enjoy your fellowship and enjoy. Coach Dew kind of stole my thunder already, but I do want to recognize individually by name current Hall of Famers that are here tonight. Starting with 1988 class. Dave Roush, please stand and remain standing, David. 1995 class, Charlene Stenson. Charlene's one of the few people that won in 10 years after she graduated from college. So do the math, Charlene. 85, right? Okay. Class of 1998, Jim Dew. Coach, please stand. Class of 2005, Kelly Keitel. Kelly, please stand. Kelly Keitel. Oh, she was standing. Thank you. Kelly remains standing. Kelly was a wonderful gymnast. Wonderful, wonderful. So, and a good sport. Also, from our newly elected Osmond Coaches Hall of Fame, from the class of 2025, Al Olson. Al, please stand to be recognized. This person came from the class of 2014, and he had bought a ticket to be in attendance tonight. And normally we talk about people being limited to the amount of time that they can talk on their speeches. This is why we invite Rod Skitlin, because anybody that knows him, he takes up all the words there are to say in an evening by himself. But he unfortunately no-showed on us tonight, so anyway, thank you to all those individuals. And guess what? Another one I didn't see, Jed Klein. Jed Klein, I did talk to Jed. Jed, please stand up and be recognized. Sit in the back row.
What about Joey Colcott?
Joey Marsh.
Joe Marsh. Please stand up. Joe, just from a couple of years ago, we tried to forget him on purpose because we wanted to see what Kevin Strang would actually say. Duly noted. And also at this time, any members of teams, I know we have talked about this, but if you were on a team that was inducted into the Hall of Fame, so that girls basketball team of last year, any present, please stand and be recognized. Any members of teams. And finally, a recognition of our production staff. This will be online at the VCSU YouTube channel, so you'll be able to see that. And Paul McDonald, our new SID, that just started in April, Will Blanc, Derek Bear, and their staff who've put everything together tonight. We appreciate the time that they have worked in this ceremony because it just doesn't happen overnight, so thanks to them as well. In the previous 37 years, we have inducted 176 individuals and 64 teams that have came to share this stage, achieving the highest honor there is to be a Viking. Tonight is not just about remembering stats and records, though these Vikings gave us plenty of those in their time period. We're going to be remembering stories, rivalries, laughter, sweat, and a few bruises that accompanied along the way. With that, let's meet the 2025 Viking Class Hall of Fame. Each induction will begin with a narrated presentation highlighting their time at VCSU. I will be doing that from up front here, so we're going to always have a little bit of a delay. I'm sorry about that, but it will get done. Our first inductee this evening is Mr. Steve Becher. Steve's a four-year starting quarterback for VCSU, the only quarterback in VCSU history to win 3 conference championships. At graduation, Steve held records in just about everything that you could for a quarterback: passing yards, completions, touchdowns, and even punt attempts. He could throw it, and he could punt it, and he could probably show Keith Baumgartner how to chalk the field, and Dick Huey how to wash the clothes. Maybe not having them be pink. He still ranks in the top 10 in 13 categories, even a few years later. Here's a closer look at Steve Becher.
A native of West Fargo, North Dakota, Steve Becher was a 4-year starting quarterback on the Valley City State football team. From 1981 to 1984, Becher led the Vikings to 3 straight conference championships, the only quarterback to do so in Viking history. By the time he graduated, Becher held school records for passing attempts, completions, touchdowns, yards, interceptions, total offense, punting yards, and punt attempts. To this day, he still ranks in the top 10 in 13 categories in the Viking record book. He was All-American, All-District, and the Vikings' top offensive player in 1984. Becher's head coach was Jim Dew, who said he held passing records for many years, which was outstanding for a quarterback of an option team. Steve was a highly respected student-athlete on and off the field by VCSU students and teammates. Steve was a volunteer student coach in 1985, working with quarterbacks Corey Anderson and Darren Lowe. Teammate Pete Leno said, "What I remember most about Steve as a player was his consistency of focus and consistency of effort. He held himself to a high standard and expected the same from the unit. which I believe is the definition of a good teammate. I also appreciated that his speed, or lack thereof, made maintaining pitch relationship on the option a little easier. Steve Becher.
Wow. Could you have left the interceptions off, please? So, I wrote my speech, and then I was going to try to wing it, and I was timing both of them, and the winging it was twice as long as the written one, so I decided I'm going to kind of try to read it, because you guys don't need to sit here the whole night. But, thank you for this amazing honor, and I am humbled to be standing in front of all of you tonight. When I received the phone call from Corey, he said, "Hey, I've got some news I need to share with you." I started thinking, what would Corey be calling me about? It must be he needs a contribution for something for Viking football. And he goes, "I have the pleasure of telling you you are being inducted into the 2025 Viking Hall of Fame." I had nothing. Corey finally said, "Are you still there?" "Yeah, I'm speechless." But my family would tell you, that is not a normal thing for me to be speechless. And it's totally unexpected, and I am honored and proud to accept this award. I'd like to thank the selection committee for deciding that I belong alongside all of the great Vikings in the past. I also would like to congratulate all of the other winners. I can't wait to hear your videos and hear your stories. We all have those stories, and we're going to talk about them. I'm joined here tonight by my wife, Lisa. My three boys are all here, Alex, Ben, and Zach. My favorite daughter-in-laws, Hannah and Laura, are here. And my 5.5 grandkids are here. Rainey, Chevy, Raiden, Finley, Paisley, and in February, baby boy. So they're all here tonight. I'm also joined by my sister, Shelly, who came to see that her brother actually did do something decent at one time. And last but definitely not least, I'm joined by my mom. And I saved my mom for last because my mom has been there through all the ups and downs of my life. Everything I have ever done, my mom has been there to support me. And I was always told a story when I was young. My dad was a high school athlete, and he played college football for a year, and his parents never saw him play a game. That wasn't what they did. And I was in elementary school, according to my dad, I was in elementary school, and I had some game of some time, first game ever, I don't know what it was, basketball or something, and Mom walks in the door, and she looks at my dad, and she goes, "Let's go." And he goes, "Where?" He goes, "To Steve's game." And he goes, "Why?" And she said, "Because that's what we do." And they never missed a game that I played, or my brother, or my sister played, except for the very last game I played in college. My mom calls me crying because she doesn't know what to do, because we're playing down in northwestern Iowa, and my brother is in the state semifinals in Minot, and same day. And I told her, I said, "You go watch Scott play, because you've seen me play enough." But she was just crying. So, Mom, thanks for all the support and showing me what support really means. She still comes to our events. She comes to the grandkids events. She now comes to her grandkids events. So it hasn't changed. Next, I'd like to recognize someone else that was instrumental in my career. I'm joined tonight by my high school football coach, Al Fabricius. Coach Maher came to West Fargo my sophomore year, and as Rupert says, what is it, Rupert? There's two types of people in this world, those from West Fargo and those that wish they were. Rupert and I are both West Fargo, so. Coach Fab arrived, he arrived in West Fargo, and he saw something in this skinny sophomore quarterback, and he decided he was going to make me into a player. And When I was in junior high, I lived in South Dakota, and I was four string. I was a four-string quarterback, and I always wanted to play. When I was a freshman, I was second string until the guy got hurt. So I was never the guy. And Coach Fab saw something, and he decided he was going to make me the guy. And he taught me a lot of things. He taught me how to work hard. He taught me how to be a leader. He taught me how to command the huddle. He taught me how I had to know, as a quarterback, it's not good enough just to know the plays and how to run them. He taught me that you had to know what everybody else on the team is doing on every play, including the defense and knowing what they're doing. He taught me life lessons as well as football lessons. Thanks, Coach. I also need to talk about Coach Dew. He's meant a lot to me as well as a lot to the Viking football tradition. A couple of years ago, I was at a Viking get-together, Viking football get-together, and Coach Dew pulled me to the side. He said, "So you want to talk to you about something?" And I, okay. And he said, "Just want to let you know I've nominated you multiple times for the Hall of Fame." And I was stunned. I couldn't believe it. Coach Dew had some pretty high expectations for his quarterbacks. And I wasn't sure that I actually met those expectations, but Coach told me I did. And I just looked at him and I said, "Coach, I don't ever expect it to happen, but if it does, if it doesn't, it doesn't matter. Because I'm honored that my coach felt that highly of me that he would nominate me." And I truly meant that. I did not expect to be here tonight. But those of you that know Coach Dew, if he sets out to do something, obviously it happens. Coach Dew has done a lot for Valley City State football. He's done a lot for Valley City State as a university. You've been a tireless promoter and supporter of VCSU, and he's been the sole driving force to make sure that all us former Vikings are connected and together, and we feel that Viking brotherhood, even in my case, 40 years later. And for that, Coach, it's always been a joke on the team that, that he's your dad and your coach, here's Steve Dew and this and that. Well, I'm proud to be called your son. So when I came to Valley City State, it was kind of a scary proposition. I'm sure it was scary for all of you when you came to college for the first time. You're going away from home, going to a new place, going to a team that a bunch of guys you've never met before, never played on that team before. They're from all across the country. And you get there and you don't know what to expect. And everybody comes here, they're the top dog on the team they came from. But when you get here, everybody's the top dog. And you better figure out pretty quick where you fit in on that team. Well, I found out really quick, it didn't matter if I was a freshman or a senior. I was now part of the Viking Brotherhood, and these guys had my back. I took over as a freshman quarterback for a team that had been to the national playoffs the year before, with a senior quarterback who's now in the Hall of Fame. And I come in as a freshman and try to fill those shoes. Those guys didn't care. I was there to try to win another Viking championship, and they had my back from day one. Whether it was my teammates, my coaches, administration, faculty, community in Valley City, everybody's always supported VCSU and our Viking family. The Viking pride is real, and it's something we all found by working together towards a goal that was greater than ourselves. Being on a team like that, we all have stories to tell, and a lot of those stories, fans don't know those stories, just the people on the team know the stories. And when you get together, you talk about the stories and your family's going, "Again, really? We're going to talk about those." And in football, those stories, most of them happened in the huddle or on the sidelines. Or the wrong huddle in some cases. That was my son, he's heard that story a few different times. And it's just things that stick with you. And the story I wanted to tell tonight, my last game, I told you my mom couldn't make it to that game, and we're playing Northwestern Iowa. They're the number one team in the nation. And she didn't miss much. But we got down there and it was like, this campus is just nothing. It's not. Why are they number one team in the nation? And the football field was all torn up. And okay, so we go out for warm-ups and we're going out for walkthrough the day before. And the field was torn up, so they put a bunch of new dirt on the field. And when we got out there, we realized it was all Iowa farm dirt full of manure. Yeah, guys putting their hands down in the manure. But we start playing the game, and I figured out pretty quickly why these guys were number one in the nation. They would hit the crap out of you, and then help you up and pat you on the back and say, good job, as you ran back to the huddle. And you're going, am I mad or am I not mad? I don't know. So I got sacked pretty hard one time. One guy hit me here, one guy hit me at the same time the other side. I was a pretzel. Jogged over to the sidelines, and I'm standing next to my backup quarterback, and I'm just kind of looking out on the field thinking, how are we going to move the ball on this team? And it was about 30 seconds, and Tom looks at me and he goes, don't get hurt, I'm not going in. You see, quarterback's not always glory. He didn't want to go in. But the quarterback is a position that seems to get a lot of the credit when things go well, and gets a lot of the blame when things don't go so well. And the truth is actually in the middle there. Football is actually the ultimate team game. It's one of the only sports out there that has 11 guys on two sides of the ball, and those 11 guys all have to do their job and be in the right place, or things don't work. That's one of the only, it's an ultimate team game. So when the quarterback gets all the credit, it's not all the quarterback's credit. When the poor quarterback gets all the blame, it's not. I was fortunate to play with a lot of great players over the years, and they were instrumental in us being successful. In preparing tonight, I thought about all of those great players, and the names just never stopped. They just kept going. I had offensive lines that gave me time to throw. I had running backs that ran hard and hit hard. I had wide receivers that found a way to get open, and if you asked them, they were open every play. I mean, every play. And when I didn't throw a perfect pass, they made me look good. And I say this with 100% sincerity. In the 4 years I played at Valley City State, the best defense I played against was in practice. They were the best defense. Those guys, when those guys hit somebody, the pads popped. And I was glad I didn't have to play them on Saturday. So I thought about all those names, and it became really clear to me that I don't want to start naming names and miss people, and the list would be really long. We'd be here a long time tonight. So what I want to do is something different. I want to have anybody that was ever one of my teammates, please stand up. If you were ever, I noticed they're all sitting way in the back. If you were one of my teammates, please stand up. No, don't sit down yet. There's no sitting down yet. So these men right here and a bunch of others are the real reason that I'm standing up here tonight. It's an honor to be inducted into the Valley City State Hall of Fame. But it's just as much of an honor to call you guys my Viking brothers. Thank you.
Steve, what was your number in college? Coach Dew, what was your number in college? 14? Yeah. Interesting how that works. I had talked to this person earlier tonight and said that I was going to make her stand up and also be recognized as going into the Hall of Fame. She just didn't know that you recognized the previous year attendees by themselves. So Amanda Brown, please stand up and be recognized. She thought she was getting out of it. Our next inductee is Jordan Maher, a dominant defensive lineman who tied a school record for sacks in a game with 3 and totaled 17 sacks in his career. Basically, he spent all week giving Coach Horner headaches and all Saturdays giving quarterbacks headaches. I don't think many teams or many quarterbacks enjoyed those introductions to Jordan. And here's a closer look at Jordan's career.
Jordan Maher was a native of Bowman, North Dakota. He was a dominant defensive lineman who played for the Viking football team from 2008 to 2011. He helped the Vikings to a conference championship title and the NEI playoffs as a senior. Coach Dennis McCulloch said, "Jordan was a great physical presence on our D-line. Not sure there has been a tougher kid that has played for us. If you asked me, his greatest attribute, I would say, was his tenacity, and maybe not a better example than our last game of the regular season versus Robert Morris. And we were in a prevent defense rushing 3 guys, and he finishes the game with back-to-back sacks. I'm not sure you would find a more mentally tough player who prepared himself to compete at a high level for 4 quarters. In our year-end awards, he earned our Prepare to be a Champion award, which talks about guys who sacrifice things in their lives to be the best football player they could be to help our team win a championship, and he is a great example of this award. He is well deserving of the nomination to be in the Viking Hall of Fame. Maher was named AII Conference Senior of the Year and First Team All-Conference in 2011. He is tied for the school record with 3 sacks in a single game and totaled 17 sacks in his career. Jordan Maher.
Jordan, before you get started, Kevin Strang had texted me and said, hey, you forgot to turn the light on the Viking, and make sure you do that so at least there's something bright up at the podium. That's what Kevin said.
I appreciate you, Kevin, so much. Knowing Steve, I'd have to argue with you and Coach Roof. There's only 2 people in this world, and they're from Bowman, North Dakota. And that's how much they were. Did you guys agree back there? What a night to be here. I appreciate everything from everybody in this room. Very happy for everybody that's also getting inducted on this day, including Brittany, Caitlyn, Steve, and Coach DeVries. Very impressive. I was lucky enough in college to actually attend college with Coach DeVries, Brittany, and Caitlyn. It was you guys are great people to be around, and I'm just so happy that you guys got inducted. Steve, after all those years, that's great. I'm very happy when you guys that are so deserving also get in. It just took a few more years. Courtney Titus, so proud of you. Where you at? 2 years in a row. That's awesome. I'm proud of you. Yeah. This journey could have taken many different routes my time in Valley City. I'd say many times I was not headed in the right direction. I thank the good Lord for guiding me along the way and taking me down this path. This Hall of Fame induction, I feel, is truly a reflection on the people that are in this room that helped me get to this point. So I want this speech to be more about thanking the people that have gotten me to this place that sometimes I feel like I didn't deserve. Thank you to my coaches over the years from 4th grade flag football and growing up in Bowman. All the way to the collegiate years here in Valley City. I was very fortunate over the years to have great coaches and role models that helped me to this point. Starting with Coach Ingen, we had our good and bad times, no doubt about it. He was the originator of the nickname Bowman that you hear being screeched across the field when he's screwing up. But it's something that stuck with me. You know, some say he had a temper. I kind of called it tough love. I mean, he was a great guy and he meant well. Coach Becher and Coach Butler, they're kind of in between there. They're great coaches and helped me develop as a defensive lineman. And both friends of mine to this day. Coach Dave Bass, I haven't actually seen Dave Bass tonight. Yeah, okay. Well, I was hoping he would be here because he was such an influential person in my career here. He's an awesome human and cared for each and every player. Every time his name is brought up, people have nothing but good things to say about him. I want him to know how much he meant to me throughout the years, and I just hope he was going to be here to hear that. I'll talk to him later. But he gave me a lot of. There's some trouble I got into, throughout the years. Just guys being guys. It happens. But he actually did. He always had my back. That's one thing I remember about Coach Bass. He gave me great advice, and when I seek counsel, he gave it to me. He always had time for me. I always appreciate that. Coach Roop, Mr. Valley City, like you were the first guy to comes to my mind when I think about Valley City State football. The guy has donated his time for how many years? I don't even know. It's amazing, but he's donated his time, and he just brings it every single day. Never change coach. The energy you bring each and every day is contagious, and that's what everybody loves you for. Coach Mack, appreciate everything you've done for me and during my career and dealt with during my career. Your leadership and knowledge of the game has been apparent, and that's why we have so many successful teams over the years. Sure, I do appreciate you, Coach. Coach Horner, you've been instrumental in my career at Valley City State. I think about you, when I was leaving Valley City State, I was finishing up my teaching career. I didn't quite finish it up. I had a great opportunity. My dad and my brothers were in the oil field already. I had great opportunities there. It was booming. I went back and was going that direction. I was still going to be able to graduate, but Coach Horner called me into his office, and he was concerned, right? I'm leaving. I've been here for that many years, and I'm just going to leave out of the blue. And he wanted to make sure that I was going to graduate, and I was fine. Everything was going to be good. And I always remember that, and just to this day, so we still send each other texts back and forth with Coach Mack, everybody, and just appreciate you guys. And I sure appreciate those cookies from Caitlyn, so make sure you that's awesome. I love those things. When we come back to these games or other events, these coaches care. They absolutely do. I mean, that's why I keep coming back. I mean, it's obviously the alumni, the guys I played with. But these coaches, they're asking about your family, how things are going in your life. These guys truly love their players. They're, like we're Coach Mack's sons, right? It's the same thing with what you guys do. And they've been a great example and very influential in my career in my life. To my parents down here, I can't say enough about you guys. You've been such a great example. How to live your life. You both truly live your life the right way. In your faith in God and your work ethic. It's absolutely contagious. We're not the easiest boys. I had 3 other brothers. We weren't the easiest to raise, and it's one of those deals. You guys did such a great job raising us, but we were kids. We kind of had to learn the hard way. Like we weren't going to always go with a straight line. It's just the way we were. But it wasn't because of our parenting. We had to figure things out on our own, and sometimes we failed. But there was never any doubt. Your love was unwavering, and you always had our backs. When I come home from summer, I'd go rouseback in the oil field, which is kind of tough grunt work. It was part-time help. Then I'd go straight from work in the oil field straight to lifting weights, doing our workouts. I didn't know anything different. All I knew was hard work from growing up with my parents. Dad would come home from working 12 to 14 hours a day, and he'd get home and go straight to the taxidermy shop. He'd go in there for a couple hours so we could have vacation money in the summers. Appreciate that, Dad. That was awesome. My mom was the same way. She woke up with that. She was making lunch. She was getting ready for her day, working at the school. And then when she would get home, she would cook supper. She would be making sure that the house was still in order. So from their example, that's the work ethic that came to me from them. I didn't know any different from watching my parents. Thank you both so much for everything you've done and continue to do in my life. I truly appreciate it. Thank you to my brothers for their support over the years, toughening me up. I actually started lifting weights. My next oldest brother, some of these guys know him fairly well. Some of these guys have seen me spitting out teeth from my oldest brother. I'm not saying that fighting is a great thing, bloody noses and dental bills is a great thing, but it toughens you up as a human. You realize getting hit in the mouth isn't very funny. You learn respect out of that. It helped me prepare me for the real world. It made me a tougher human. Thank you to my wife, Mandy, for putting up with me through college and staying with me through some wild days. I think Coach DeVries. I think I told DeVries this. Coach DeVries actually warned her about me. I know he didn't mean me, it was like Kevin and those guys. But yeah, DeVries, we were great together. I'm just happy that Mandy was fairly stubborn and she didn't listen to you because you're a beautiful family because of her. I also thank her for holding me accountable in school. I mean, there's times, I just wasn't giving my whole lot of effort. And aiding me to get my GPA above 3.0 after a rough start to my academic career at VCSU. Thank Kyle Anderson for that. I ended up in study table because of you, so appreciate that, buddy. But you're also an outstanding mother to our children, Mandy, and I'm so very thankful for that. To my children, don't go out and try to be as good as your parents. Mandy was an excellent basketball player too, but don't try to just be as good as us. Go out and be even better. Try your hardest, reach your true potential, work hard, be coachable, teachable, listen, be a great teammate, try your hardest in school. Football has given me so much throughout the years. Then I'm excited to continue this journey with my kids. It's great right now. I'm coaching Caitlyn, my sixth grader. It's a blast. He's kind of following his dad's footsteps. He's starting to excel. It's a blast watching and coaching him. My daughter Sailor, you're tougher than most of the boys, and I think you'd put pads on yourself. Like a little girl, and you're a great water girl. You do a great job. Coulter, keep your love for the game growing. He shows up to every one of our practices. He's got a great attitude. He's learning. He's with me. He's just showing the love for the game. I just love to see it. Sutton, you keep being the best little water boy that Kildare, North Dakota has to offer. Someday you'll be out there as well. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. I love you guys. I had some of my best times in my collegiate years in a charming little place called the Pink Flamingo. A lot of laughter about the Pink Flamingo, but it was a nice place. We had a great group of guys living there in all the same work ethic and mindset. Burghead, Chippy, Strang, Jake the Snake, Two-Pole Pat, Big Ginger Plath. What a bunch of characters, but they all had a helping hand and shaped me into the player that I was and the person I am now. These guys all have the same mentality, work hard and play hard, but we learned so much together throughout the years and had a blast doing it. Growing up, I love my upbringing in Bowman, North Dakota, absolutely, but we just didn't have a whole lot of guys that cared about football as much as I did. A couple of my brothers did, and a few others of us. Derek Pauly's in here right now. It's great to see him. I appreciate you coming, buddy. He was one of the guys that did care, but I appreciate you being here. These guys that I moved in with, they all share the same passion. It was like a breath of fresh air to share for the love of the game. We worked hard, and we accomplished a lot of things. I'd also like to mention a few guys who graduated the year before me that I wish could have joined this group in the Hall of Fame. These are Vikings through and through. They just happened to graduate the year before and didn't happen to win the conference championship. They gave everything to the program, and they're absolutely deserving of an honor like this. Trent Kozel, Chip March, Ronald Buck, Tommy Butler, Cody Beck, to name a few. And the story cannot be told without mentioning one, Kevin Anthony String. I just think he's a rumbling, stumbling, mumbling meathead. And you would be correct. The man that he loves this team and this program. Selflessly donated many brain cells to this team and to this sport. But if you're around us this week, you'll likely think that we don't like each other whatsoever. But that's just the way we treat each other. We're kind of like brothers, but he'd have my back in a heartbeat, like a brother would. What a great teammate, and continues to be a great friend. To the 2011 class, it's an honor going in with this class. I'm so happy for each and every one of you guys. What a year that was. I got to talk you guys up. Starting with the defensive line, it's just a great group. Just going to go through the defensive line kind of nicknames that we had. But Hodgepodge, Two-Pole Pat, Jake the Snake, Krebser, Crafter, Action Jackson, and Crapberg Minor. Some of the most fun guys you've ever been around, all selfless, hard workers. The linebackers were all new starters. Actually, every one of the new starters that was on that team are here. Both the Huey brothers, Alex and Josh, and Thurston. They have outperformed anybody's expectations that year. Became an outstanding group. We had lost all 3 linebackers prior to that, and that was kind of our strength of the team. So those guys, that they performed the way they did, was instrumental in the way we played. The Dirty Birds, that's the D-backs. They're a veteran group. There's Bergad, Kilfell, Laura, Renner, Marcellus, Ty Colza, and Troy Still. I would say they had the highest football IQ on the team, and they led with their experience. Offensively, we had a line led by Major Hop, Kevin Murphy and Tom O'Grosso rules. Taylor Carwell also played a key role, and Zach Johnson was one of the most talented O-linemen I ever played with. The first time QB, Tommy Zinke, I haven't got to talk to you yet, but I saw you're here, so it's great to see you. He can sling it all over the place, make plays all over, and he had some of the best weapons in all of the NAIA. We had 3 great running backs led by Pfeiffer, Elliott, and Darius, and I truly believe, like as a whole, it may have been the best running back room in VCSU history. The top receiver in the conference, Proctor, and Marte, Rocky Schoenecker, and also I'd say the top overall tight end in Eliason, and a solid fullback in Zimmer. Many other guys also played key roles, but these guys were most of the starters. I'm just going to go through some of the season. I'm sorry, Jordan Haas, if I double up on some of the stuff, but it's just something I'm really proud of with this team. The first game of the season, we were playing well against a top 5 opponent in Morningside, Iowa. Garrett Jackson ended up going out with a knee injury. We had already lost Devin Iedo, and I felt personally that those 2 were the heart and soul of our defense. So we had to figure out ways to get by without those 2.
See, when Dr. LaFave was going too long, that's what I didn't feel.
Morty sweat. Okay, so we went down 2 of our absolute studs. We pulled together and we made it work. On the next game we played against Dickinson State. Everybody knows how Dickinson State is. It's a tough team every single year, and we were down at the end of the game. Zinke ended up throwing a touchdown pass, last-second touchdown pass to Schoenecker, and we were actually able to pull things around. It's a game that we typically found out a way to lose. We're actually able to pull it through and beat Dickinson State, and the season's kind of started rolling from there. I'd probably played on more talented defenses in my previous years, but these guys all packed their lunch boxes and went to work. It's the most selfless group. I can honestly say that it's the most selfless group I ever played with during my time in Valley City. Guys just did not care who got the tackle, who got the sack. It was just who won the game at the end of the day. And I appreciate that. Our offensively, we had a balance of attack as I've ever been here. We had talent across the board. We were a group that controlled the ball so well and gave the defense a much needed break, which many times in years past we did not have. A couple of the most memorable moments that I had from my senior year, we played Jamestown twice. They had the paint bucket, and we were able to regain it. And then not only did we regain it, but we got to play them again, and we got to keep it. Those up to that point, I mean, now I have kids, and I've got married and all that stuff. Up to that point, those were the 2 best days of my life. That was for those of you that understand that. But yep, I just have no time for the Jimmies. I sat here humbled as somehow, when CA called me up, I was just like Steve. I was taken aback. I truly appreciate it. I could not believe that I was the name that got called over all these talented individuals in this room, and that'll be there tomorrow. We got a lot of coaches that are going to be there tomorrow, so we got a lot of guys that aren't here yet. Very talented individuals that I got chosen over, but I know at least a handful, if not more, of these guys will be getting in as well. I hope each of you have a great weekend. As Coach Mack always says, where's Coach Mack? What are you doing back there? Those Bowman guys back there? Well, like Coach Mack always says, it's a sprint, not a marathon. Something like that, Coach. Is that how it goes? Thank you to each and every one of you for being a positive impact in my career, my life, and most of all, thank you, God, for what you've given me, for it's much more than what I deserve. This road could have taken many different paths. It absolutely could have. And I'm so thankful for what I have right now. What an awesome experience it was. Good Vikes.
Thank you, Jordan. Our next inductee is Caitlyn Wojahn Graf, a record-setting point guard who helped lead the Vikings to their first ever NEI National Tournament appearance. She's the school's all-time leader in steals, 283 of them. Opposing teams stopped bringing valuables to the gym at the Osmond Fieldhouse when Caitlyn was around. She's also the second all-time leader in assists, proving that she not only has a gift for making everyone around her better, but her teammates better in the scoring side. Here's a look at Caitlyn's career.
Caitlyn Wojahn Graf was a native of Millbank, South Dakota. She was a standout point guard on the women's basketball team and was instrumental in helping the Vikings to their first NEI National Tournament appearance as a senior. Wojahn set school records in career steals, single-season steals, and she also ranked second in career assists and third in career three-pointers made. Former head coach and fellow 2025 Hall of Fame inductee Jill DeVries said this: Caitlyn made an immediate impact in the Vikings women's basketball program when she stepped on campus in the fall of 2009. She was a five-skill player. She could handle ball pressure, score going to the rim, shoot the three, find her open teammates, and defend end line to end line. One of the best point guards to have ever played at VCSU. She not only commanded the court with quickness and unmatched skill, but also embodied the heart and spirit of teamwork, elevating every play and every player around her. Wojahn earned second-team All-Conference as a junior and third-team All-Conference as a senior. She was also a two-time NAIA Scholar Athlete. Caitlyn Wojahn Graf.
You probably need a lower podium for me. My kids are telling me to hurry up because they want to go to the park. So I just want to say how great it is to be back in Valley. I want to give a huge shout out to Corey, Dr. Lefebvre, Kim, the Hall of Fame committee, and those behind the scenes that are making tonight happen. Thank you to the Eagles for hosting us tonight. Corey, like these others have said, that phone call was pretty special. I also want to take a second to congratulate Coach DeVries, Brittany, Jordan, and Steve, the 2012-2013 women's basketball team, and the 2011 football team. You are all incredibly deserving of your nominations. I know I can speak on behalf of all who are in attendance tonight that these newest members of the VCSU Hall of Fame were not only impressive athletes and teams, but even more incredible people. As basketball is a team sport, it almost doesn't feel right standing up here receiving this individual honor. However, I am incredibly grateful. I'm even more grateful that I have the chance to thank some amazing people that have helped me achieve this. First, Coach DeVries, I want to thank you for letting me be your point guard. Thank you for coaching me and putting me in positions to succeed and to help our team. Having a few steals records wouldn't have been possible if you hadn't set me up for that to happen. You put me at half court and taught me how to bait girls into throwing iffy passes. During our press, it was such an honor to play for you and learn from you. You didn't just teach me to be the best basketball player I could be, but you helped me become the best person I could be. You had extremely high expectations for us, no drinking during the season, but I promise when we were at the Pink Flamingo, not during season, the boys were taking care of us. No drinking during season. If we skipped a class, we missed a game, and believe me, we were terrified to slack off during practice. You were always tough but fair, strict but understanding, hard but loving. You taught us what it took to be a team and how to win. You taught us to play for each other and to hate losing more than to like winning. Coach, thank you for being exactly what I needed when I needed it. Coach Bonstead's not here, but I wanted to thank him for being my go-to. When I was in a slump, he always had the right words to say to get me back on track. He spent hours on individual workouts with us to develop us as individual players, and he's big time, and I'm really grateful for him. I want to thank my teammates. You are my family. I'm so incredibly thankful that God put you all into my life. You're the reason I'm standing up here tonight. Andrea's not here tonight, but I would love to thank her for being the most genuine person I've ever met. The many trips to West Fargo to watch Gossip Girl and eat cookie cakes at her parents' house are memories I'll cherish forever. My roommate Jackie, I would have been lost without. She always had my back. When Coach would tell me I was too small to drive into the trees, Jackie would be in the background yelling, "Kate, you're too tall for that." AB, it was, what can I say? It's just an incredible honor that I got to play with you. You're just flat out a stud, and I miss being on the court with you every day. Courtney. I want to thank Courtney for your fire and your passion. Because of you, we pushed ourselves harder every day so we could match your intensity. We knew you were coming for our minutes, so we had to step up. Lehner, thank you for all the times we convinced you to take us to the cafeteria for dinner on your card. We really appreciated it, but even more so, I appreciated your positive energy. It's something I look forward to every day, and I'm excited that my South Dakota teammate is being inducted also. Congratulations. Bindis is here. I just want to thank you for bringing the fun. You always knew when and how to make us laugh when we needed a minute. And as someone who is an extreme introvert, you often got me out of my shell, and I really am grateful to you for that. I'm thankful for Jenna and MJ. They're just truly the best teammates anyone could ask for, and I could go on and on. So to all my past teammates, thank you for making VCSU the best place for me to be. We had an incredible practice squad that would come in. Travis, Matt, Dylan, Ryan, Tanner, and Zach. They were just as committed to our team as we were. They made us better, and I really don't think I've ever met a nicer group of people. And shout out to Jenna G, who's here tonight, because she's always been our #1 fan, and sometimes I have to ask if she was, feels like she was on our team. She was always with us, so thank you, Jenna, for being here. Jordan gave a shout out to Dave Bass, and I wanted to also do that. I know I can speak for everyone here that he's a very special human. He's had an impact on every single athlete in this room. He made sure we were eligible. He was our biggest fans. He genuinely wanted nothing but success for all of us. And because of Dave, I walk into school every morning with a good attitude and a fresh start. His advice and life lessons are with me every day, and he makes me a better teacher and a person. So hopefully we'll get to catch up with him soon. Dr. Worth, I really appreciate Dr. Worth for everything that he did for me at Valley. He is an amazing professor, and I know I'm up here for a basketball award, but I've been lucky enough to receive a few teaching awards too, and he was a huge impact for that. Deb and Diane at the Bubble, they're probably not here, but I want to thank Deb and Diane. They always took care of me at the Bubble. Not only did I learn how to make a mean batch of popcorn, but anytime I needed my pants hemmed, I had Diane to help me out. Coach Matt, as a homebody, leaving Millbank was incredibly difficult for me, which is exactly why I moved back home to teach. I just want to thank you for always being so friendly and kind. You were always my little piece of Millbank when I was missing home. Go Dogs. These next two are really special people to me. My great uncle Edward and my youth basketball coach Wojahn. They both have passed now, but I know they would have been thrilled tonight to be here, and I'm sure my uncle would have been buying you all around at the bar to celebrate, if he was still with us. To my family, thank you for being here tonight. To my daughters Mona and Maggie, it's my hope that you understand why I'm up here tonight and what amazing things can happen when you commit and dedicate yourself to something. Don't ever let anyone tell you you're too small, and if they do, use it as your motivation, because this girl was told I would never play college basketball. Well, I guess I proved them wrong. To my husband Jackson, thank you for always being just as excited as I am to come to Valley. I appreciate your patience having to hear the same basketball stories from my dad over and over and over. I appreciate your attempts to beat me at countless games of horse and admire how humble you are after every loss. Mom, you have always been my biggest fan, always wearing your "the little one is my number one" t-shirt wherever you went. You may not have always understood the game, but your heart was always in whatever you were yelling. I'll never forget the time we fouled the other team and you were yelling, "That's a technical." I always just had to smile at the tiny lady that always sat behind her bench and lifted us with a little comic relief when we needed it. I'm so blessed that you love VCSU as much as I do. Dad, thank you for convincing me that Valley City was the right place for me. I almost quit basketball after my freshman year of college, and because of you, I transferred to Valley, and we had many fights over it. And I'm forever grateful that you pushed me to do so. Thank you for the countless weekends on the road playing ball and camps every week growing up. I know financially I was draining, but you and Mom never said no to playing the game I loved, and I will always cherish going out to eat at the supper club after games with you and Uncle Edward here in Valley, and waking up early on Saturday mornings to get our Hardee's breakfast while listening to John Mellencamp on the way to another tournament. My sister Whitney's here tonight. She didn't have a choice. Thank you for being the best and most supportive sister one could have. You never held it against me that I was stealing Mom and Dad every weekend for one more tournament. You often tagged along and wanted a jersey of your own. I can't tell you how happy it would make me when you would brag that the littlest one was your sister. Making you proud was and still is a top priority of mine. And side note, I'm glad you learned that standing in the middle of our fan section, flipping off the other team and refs when I foul out of games is probably not the best idea. But I appreciate your support anyways. My brother Jed couldn't be here tonight, but I want to thank him for the hours spent playing ball in the driveway. I was never able to beat him in a game of one-on-one, but I guarantee those games are what made me so competitive. I'm sad this next person wasn't able to be here tonight. Eric Burgad was on the 2011 football team being inducted tonight. Eric married my childhood best friend, Kelsey. I wanted to thank Kelsey, which I'll get to see tomorrow, because I'm not sure I would have ever even started playing basketball if it wasn't for her. She used to leave me to go to basketball practice in the 4th grade, and it drove me crazy. I went out for basketball in 5th grade just so I could keep hanging out with her. It didn't take me long to fall in love with the sport, and I often wonder what my path would have been like if Mrs. Preisinger hadn't set us next to each other when I moved to Millbank in the 4th grade. And I'm incredibly excited to celebrate with her tomorrow. And to my mother and father-in-law, Tim and Jean Graf, thank you for being here tonight. It seems like fate being a math teacher and marrying into a family with the last name Graf. I know it isn't easy for you both sitting in the presence of all these Vikings, and I want you to know I forgive you for being Jimmys. So, to Valley City and VCSU, thank you for everything. Go Vikes.
Thank you, Caitlyn. Our next inductee is Brittany Lehner Evans, a true two-sport star in basketball and softball. Some athletes have to pick a sport, Brittany decided to just be an All-American in basketball and Player of the Year in softball. Overachiever doesn't quite cover it. She even picked a young man who played baseball for me named Josh and said, hey, I think I can make a good husband out of this guy someday. We'll find out how that's went. Here's a closer look at Brittany.
Brittany Lehner Evans, a native of Watertown, South Dakota. Lehner was a decorated dual sport athlete in women's basketball and softball from 2010 to 2014. Lehner was a two-time first-team All-Conference selection and honorable mention All-American in women's basketball. She totaled 1,390 points to rank 6th in VCSU history and 592 rebounds, ranking 7th all-time. In 2014, Lehner averaged 18.4 points per game to rank 2nd all-time. Former head coach and fellow 2025 Hall of Fame inductee Jill DeVries said this about her former player. In a position defined by strength, Brittany navigated the paint and carved her legacy by redefining finesse around the rim. She was a tough matchup for teams because her range allowed her to face up bigger defenders, dropping threes in their face or taking them to the rim. She made a living at the free throw line as a 3-time All-Conference power forward at VCSU. Each season in a Viking uniform, she rewrote the rules of what it meant to be dominant in the paint. On the softball diamond, Lehner earned NSAA Player of the Year and All-Conference honors for her senior season in 2014. She was also a 2-time NAIA Scholar Athlete. Brittany Lehner Evans.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start off tonight by thanking the VCSU Hall of Fame Committee and Corey Anderson for the honor of being inducted tonight. I am humbled to join an incredible group of athletes, coaches, and teams that have left legacies at VCSU. Congratulations to all the other inductees tonight. You are all so deserving of this honor, and I'm glad I can share in this celebration with you. I started playing competitive sports, more competitive sports, in about 3rd grade. Between then and my college career, I've had many amazing coaches that have left a lasting impact on me. There are a couple that I'd like to mention tonight. Coach DeVries, you are the most competitive and compassionate coach I've ever played for. It didn't take long. You challenged me daily, on and off the court, to be the best player, student, and person that I could be. You care so deeply about your players, well beyond the court. Your office was always open, and we could come and talk to you about any concern in any aspect of our life. As Caitlyn had mentioned, one of my favorite quotes from Coach is that you need to hate to lose more than you love to win. I think a lot of us would say that. That was one of the big things that we took away from Coach. This resonated me with on a deep level. Even though I, of course, do love to win, it was the losses that really stuck with me and motivated me to keep getting better every day. You continue to have a daily impact on my life through the lessons you taught me when I was at Valley City. Some that come to mind include hard work, perseverance, and dedication. These translated to my personal life during graduate school and now in my commitment to my family and to my patients as a physical therapist. I thank you for the lessons and the memories, and I'm so grateful for the time I was able to play for you. I was also very fortunate to have a couple of assistant coaches that I respected immensely. Coach Baumstead, he brought a strong energy and passion every day to the gym. He taught us how to combine that energy and discipline on the defensive end, and was a large part of our success my freshman and sophomore year. Coach Glover, my senior year brought a lot of changes. Both Coach Slider and Coach DeVries were leaving, and while I was very happy for them in their next journeys, this led to a lot of uncertainty heading into my senior year. Thank you for being my consistency that year, for pushing me and believing in me. You spent many hours with me in the gym that summer and season, helping me improve my skills in the post, both offensively and defensively. During that time, I would have never guessed that we would have had the opportunity to coach with each other just a couple years later in Orono. Thank you for that and allowing me to be along your side there. It was fun to be on the other side of the whistle at practice. It's empowering to tell other people to run. It was fantastic. And it was great to learn about the game from a different perspective for you. Thank you for that. Growing up, I lived in a town that didn't offer fast pitch. I attended camps occasionally, but there was never enough interested girls to get a team together. I moved to Watertown, South Dakota, my freshman year of high school, and this opened up some new opportunities for me. I want to say thank you to my high school coach, Gary Young, who isn't here tonight, but played a huge part of my success. He taught me the game that I quickly grew to love. Growing up only playing slow pitch, I had a lot to catch up on in the hitting department. Gary would stay in the cage as long as I wanted to hit and helped me develop my swing. There were definitely challenges along the way, but Gary believed in me as a young player, and I appreciate all the time he put into helping me learn, grow, and meet my goals of being able to play collegiately. High school may have been where I developed a love for the game of fast pitch, but college is where I was able to really build on my skills. Coach Slater, I'd like to thank him for recruiting me to Valley City. When he came and scouted me in Watertown, I admittedly had never heard of Valley City State University. But as soon as I came to campus, I immediately felt at home. Coach Slater's love for the game was contagious. He brought that passion to the diamond every day, whether it be practice or a game. He set high expectations for his players to bring that same drive every day, and it fueled me to never be satisfied. I always wanted to be working towards bettering myself as an athlete in the classroom and now in my career. Being a two-sport athlete did have its challenges. At the beginning of the year, I would rotate between preseason workouts for basketball and fall ball for softball. That pretty much led right into basketball season, and by the time basketball ended, softball had already begun. Despite the chaos, one of the biggest benefits was I had two families. It didn't matter if I was on the diamond or in the gym, I always felt at home because of the amazing women I was surrounded by. There's a long list of girls that I played with, and I certainly would not be standing up here today if it weren't for all of my teammates. Thank you all for the memories that went far beyond the game and for the friendships that I continue to cherish. Now I'd like to thank my family. Whether it was elementary school, high school, or college, it was rare for me not to have a cheering section in the crowd. I appreciate not only your loud cheering, but also the endless fruit snacks and desserts that fueled me and my teammates. I particularly want to thank my mom and dad. Your dedication to pursuing your children's passions was unrivaled. You guys taught us that when you commit to something, you give it all for yourself, your teammates, and your coaches. Growing up, everything was a friendly competition in our house, from balloon volleyball in the living room, card games, and even one admittedly embarrassing race in the street in front of our house, where my younger brother Alex taught me that I was maybe not as fast as I once thought I was. I may have gotten my athletic ability from my dad, but I think anybody who knows my mom. I got my competitive spirit from my mom. Mom, you spent countless hours in the basketball gym rebounding for me, playing defense and being my stand-in point guard. You excelled as a sports parent. You spent many hours braiding hair, bringing endless snacks, and ensuring everyone on the team was taken care of as if they were your own. Thank you for your never wavering support and always being just a phone call away, no matter where I was. Dad, you taught me the value of learning how to stand in front of a softball and stop it at all costs. Mainly because if I didn't, I would have a lengthy run down the street in front of our house to retrieve it. This would often turn into a game of who could throw it the hardest at each other, and it was great training for my future at first base. You were not only in the stands as a fan, but you were also in the dugouts or on the sideline helping in any way you could. You coached, you kept stats, you did whatever the team needed, and I thank you for that. You both spent endless hours on the road, making it to games 3+ hours away, no matter what day of the week or what the weather was. You guys even made it to Florida my freshman year for our freshman spring softball trip that I never made it to. Our basketball team had made nationals for the first time ever, so I'm glad you guys got to enjoy that trip. I also want to thank my husband, Josh. As Corey mentioned, Josh was a baseball player at Valley City, and we met when I was a freshman. Josh, you quickly became one of my biggest supporters. You spent late nights driving to and from games, even when you had early morning classes. You drove through countless snowstorms, and even stayed in Valley City probably 2 years longer than you initially planned, so you could be there for my junior and senior years. Thank you for always being willing to go to the cage to pitch to me, help me with my swing when I was a slump, or when I was trying to get ready for fast pitch season in the middle of basketball. Thank you for the hours you spent rebounding and helping me in the gym. I'll even mention the one time you beat me in one-on-one. I know if our relationship survived that, we can endure anything. Even though we are well beyond our collegiate years, thank you for continuing to be my biggest fan, my biggest supporter, and my best friend. We have created an amazing family with our 2 boys, Braden and Easton, and we will soon be entering our time as sports parents. You continue to challenge me to be the best version of myself as a mother, in my career, and as a partner. I love you, and I'm so thankful for the memories we have created and the adventures ahead of us. And finally, to the Valley City community and students, you guys showed up time and time again to support the athletes at VCSU. My favorite memory from Valley City happened during my freshman year when we beat Jamestown in the bubble to win the DAC championship. If you were there, you understood. The bubble was packed and the atmosphere was electric. It's not the score, the stats that I remember from the game. That night was so memorable because of the people that were there to support us. The deafening cheers and the rush of the crowd storming the court are things I will never forget. I thank you all for your support for my whole 4 years at Valley. This is a moment in my life that I cherish forever. Thank you again, and congratulations to all the other inductees this year.
Thank you, Brittany. Our next inductee is Jill DeVries, the winningest women's basketball coach in Viking history with 283 wins, 4 national tournament appearances, and a DAC tournament championship. Coaching 17 years in college is a lot like parenting a teenager, times 15. Jill not only survived that, she thrived, and then to prove that she really loved punishment, she became the athletic director at VCSU after her coaching career. On a personal side, I'm going to say one thing with Coach DeVries and us having an office next to each other for several years, in that everybody that knows Jill would agree with me. If you don't know the story, I'm not going to tell it. You can look it up, but it's called Burn the Boats. And if you know about Viking history and Burn the Boats, when they got somewhere, there was no turning back, so they would start the boats on fire because they were going to either survive or they weren't. And that really, I think, just depicts who Jill was as a competitor and as a coach. So with that, a closer look at Coach DeVries.
Jill DeVries is a native of Glendon, Minnesota, and her journey at VCSU started in 1999 when she was hired to lead the women's basketball team. She served 17 seasons as women's basketball coach and 5 years as athletic director at VCSU. Known for her passion for the game, DeVries is the winningest women's basketball coach in VCSU history with 283 career wins. Courtney Titus, former player, said this about Coach DeVries: "I have always ascribed to the adage that it takes a village, and I'm proud to say that Coach is a member of my village. Without her, I would not be the person I am or have obtained the successes in life that I have." Coach DeVries was without a doubt a great coach, and I learned a lot about a game we both were very passionate about from her. We both hated to lose more than we loved winning, and I fully hoped and expected that is what I would get out of a collegiate playing career. But what I did not expect was her persistent commitment to each individual's development as a person. When writing this, I think about what Coach DeVries meant to me and how she impacted my life. But if I take a step back and think about how we consumed her life beyond basketball, I am humbled by her tireless dedication to us players, our well-being and development as people to make the communities we lived in a better place. Coach DeVries supported and taught many generations of young women to be self-confident, accountable leaders, hard workers, and to demand the best of themselves and others. Coach DeVries' impact extends far beyond the bubble and is felt in every life and community within which one of her former players lives. She led the Viking women to the NEI National Tournament 4 times and coached the 2010-2011 team to a DAC 10 Tournament Championship. She was named the North Star Athletic Association Athletic Director of the Year in 2019. Jill DeVries.
Good evening, everyone. In the spirit of the late Larry Robinson, I will be brief. I truly will. It is truly an honor to be inducted into the 2025 VCSU Athletic Hall of Fame, especially during the 100th anniversary of Viking athletics. Thank you to the committee and to Corey for leading that committee. I was on that committee and it is not an easy job. Congratulations to Steve. Steve, truly, when Corey started reading your bio, I thought to myself, wow, was he in witness protection? Why has he not been inducted into the Hall of Fame yet? I mean, who wins as the quarterback, right? 3 conference championships. Congratulations. Jordan, I didn't even know about the pink flamingo. I'm a little disappointed I've never been invited. I don't know why. Caitlyn? Caitlyn, and I know I've told this story before, but Caitlyn taught me perspective. Caitlyn and I, Caitlyn at 5 feet tall, and me at 5'10", do not see the game the same. So when I need to see it from Caitlyn's perspective, I do one of these. It taught me a very valuable lesson in coaching. Congratulations, well deserved, absolutely deserved. Brittany, I feel like I have to apologize to you for missing your senior year, but I watched from afar and I'm extremely proud of the woman you've become, and I really enjoyed watching you play as a player. To the members of the 2011 Viking football team, there are very few teams that I can remember that I enjoyed watching more. I had the advantage of being the assistant athletic director while you participated, played, competed, and so I got an opportunity to stand on the sideline and watch it from close up. And 10 years later, I got to stand on the sideline with some of you, Kevin, and ask you to not stand on the sideline when I was the athletic director, drinking a beer. And of course, ladies in the back of the room, we'll talk about you later. I'm proud to share this moment with such remarkable individuals and teams. Tonight, I'd like to take just a few minutes to reflect on my time at Valley City State University, the journey we've had, and the lasting impact that this entire community has had on my life. When I walked onto campus all those years ago in 1999, I had no idea how deeply the people and the place would shape my story. VCSU gave me the opportunity to fail, to grow, and to build something any coach would be proud of. A successful program and a meaningful culture of hard work, discipline, and most importantly, with the young ladies that I coached, togetherness. It was not just about winning games. It was really about developing young women into strong athletes and even stronger individuals. And yes, back then we faced our share of challenges and setbacks, and many of them have had bigger and more important and impactful setbacks than losing a basketball game will ever be. And honestly, there's so many times, right, when victory felt out of reach, and probably in your lives as well. But we embraced something that would shape our success as a team and as individuals, and that's resilience. As a coach, I learned it's not just about the X's and O's. It's about empowering young women and young men to become not only better athletes, better coaches, but better people. Nurturing their potential, molding their character, and watching them grow in ways they never thought were possible. We all know that sports are more than just games. They're really truly classrooms for life. Through this journey, I learned to hire people like Lavessa that are smarter than I am. And then I let them do their job. And I think Ryan, who's not here tonight, and Lavessa, who is, and Courtney, who is, and Matt, who is not, for being my assistant coaches and teachers. And truly, before Ryan, I think I had 7 additional in 9 years assistant coaches. So I learned that if I expected the best from my players and my peers, I would most likely get it. Because scientifically, when you have high expectations, people will improve their performance. And it's really just about the power of belief. I learned how to manage failure, and then how to parlay small successes into larger gains. And despite what you might hear from the stories of the women's basketball players here tonight, I did learn how to praise and when to reprimand. Because there's one thing that I know for certain: both fear and love are powerful motivators. I learned that I will never be done learning. But most importantly, the thing I learned was that while helping other people grow can become your life's greatest joy. Coach will always be my favorite title. And for those of you who chose VCSU and who chose me to play for, thank you. I will always be grateful for the trust that you placed in me. When I look back, I'm filled with pride. Pride in the athletes who wore VCSU jerseys, not just on the women's basketball team, on all of the teams. Pride in what we accomplished together. Every one of you brought something unique to the program, to all the programs, something that made us better, stronger. Success isn't just measured by wins and losses. It is always found in the relationships that we build, the lessons that we learn both on and off the court or the field or the diamond or the track, and the memories that we create that will last a lifetime. To my fellow coaches and the athletic staff, thank you. Thank you for the early mornings and the late nights, for the bus rides, the scouting reports, the holiday breaks that are cut short. When I call you and say, please get back to Valley City, we're gonna have a blizzard and we need to be on an airplane, and so you need to skip Christmas, just get here. and all the little things that add up to something extraordinary. Your commitment to this program and to each other helped build something that I will carry with me forever. To my friends and my family, and especially my wife Holly, thank you. Your love and support are my foundation. Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to chase my dreams. I appreciate you being here tonight. To the coaches and the Valley City State staff who continue to carry the torch and keep the Viking spirit alive, thank you. You are shaping the next generation of athletes and leaders, and your dedication ensures that Valley City State will remain a place where greatness is built, not just in records, but in people. And I know I can't name everyone who made an impact on my career, but many of you are here in the room tonight, and please know how much you mean to me. Thank you all for your support, your belief, and for making this an extraordinary journey. I want to wish good luck to Mac and Corner and to the football team tomorrow. I know that we're all behind you, as long as you win, right, Matt? This is how it works. Thank you for being here. Go Vikings.
Thank you, Coach. Our first team inductee tonight is the 2012-13 Viking women's basketball team. This team set school records for wins, points, and assists, and they were part of a 3-year national tournament run. A highlight to how they raised the bar for women's basketball at VCSU. Here's a closer look at that team.
The 2012-2013 Viking women's basketball team finished with a 24-8 overall record to finish third in the AII Conference in the regular season. VCSU placed second in the conference tournament to qualify for the national playoffs, marking its third straight year as a national qualifier. At the time, VCSU set school records with 24 wins on the season, 2,207 total points scored, 489 assists, and just 58.1 points allowed per game. Twice during the season, the Vikings had 6-game winning streaks. The second came at the end of the year and was started with a 54-48 win over the University of Jamestown in Jamestown, which started the Vikings on a path to the NAIA tournament. The 2012-2013 Viking women's basketball team.
Representing the 2012-2013 basketball team is Courtney Titus Weatherspoon, and I had asked her to do this, and she said, Kitty Ralston's going to do this with me, and I just said, Courtney, whatever, because you're kind of scary when you get like that. So we just listen to Courtney. But they will speak on the team's behalf. Following that, each team member will come forward and introduce themselves and share where they were from, what they played, and where they are now. So, Courtney and Katie.
Okay, we got everyone. So, as Corey said, I'm Courtney, formerly Titus, now Weatherspoon. Katie and I are sharing these duties tonight after Corey reached out to me, and I was very actually humbled to have been asked to speak here tonight. But first, we'd like to thank, of course, the Hall of Fame Committee and Corey for the honor of being inducted and selected into the VCSU Hall of Fame. We are so fortunate to join many great athletes, coaches, and teams who have come before us and helped to build the legacy that is VCSU athletics. Congratulations to all the other inductees this evening. We are genuinely honored and deeply humbled to stand before you today to celebrate our team induction. This moment means so much to us, and that has become so evident over the weeks and months that has passed since we were first informed of this, and all the conversations and messages that we've exchanged leading up to this. So we're very excited to be here today. First, to our coaches, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. It's special tonight to be able to share our induction with Coach DeVries, whose induction is well earned after 17 years at the helm of women's basketball at VCSU, as well as being the first female athletic director. Thank you for recruiting us. Where are you? Thank you for recruiting us, for giving us a lifetime of friendships, and bringing all these wonderful women to a place that offered a quality education that would serve us for the remainder of our lifetime. Coach DeVries and Coach LaBessa, thank you for more than just teaching us the game of basketball, for emphasizing the importance of our development as people, which goes far beyond a collegiate playing career. To quote Coach DeVries, let's be serious. None of you are going to the WNBA. While said in jest, and Coach, today I can confirm, no one's gone to the WNBA. But Coach would use this quote often in the context of talking about the fact that we were here to develop people, to develop individuals. And I can confirm also, Coach, today that while we may not have made it to the big leagues, we are good citizens. We're good siblings, we're good parents, friends, and members of our community, and we have our coaches to thank for that. We'd also like to thank you guys for instilling in us the values of teamwork, discipline, and perseverance. One other important lesson that Coach DeVries had preached to us was to ignore sort of the negative, the outside voices, those that are antagonizing to you, and to really focus on who's your circle of people, whether in the locker room or just in life, and to really depend upon those people who are truly for you and support you. She also taught us the lesson to stand up for what you believed in, and one way Coach DeVries helped to instill these values in us was to do it through real life scenarios. And so, sometimes that would look like her stopping practice to say things like, Courtney, you're not a shot blocker. Stop trying to block her shot. So that's the negativity, that's the outside voice. And then you would practice standing up for yourself, and you would say, in response to her, under your breath, well, I had half a block last season. And then I'm gonna get one in the next game. But you pushed us beyond our limits, Coach. Not only to excel on the court, but to grow into better and stronger individuals in life. Your unwavering belief in us, even when we doubted ourselves, gave us the courage to face every challenge and reach for greatness. And I have one last sort of token to illustrate how Coach instilled this lesson into us as well. One thing similar to what you've heard earlier tonight, where Coach would tell Caitlyn she was too short to do things. We had Katie, who was our Caitlyn for this season, the shortest player on our team. And Katie would always try to post up. And so Coach would always tell Katie, you're not a post player, get out of the lane. But then, only to draw up a play for Katie to get the ball in the post one-on-one to put us into overtime against Jamestown. Thank you for always believing in our abilities. Your leadership and guidance have shaped us into who we are today, and for that we will be forever grateful.
Incredible teammates, our hard work truly paid off, and we couldn't be more proud of what we've achieved together. We've poured countless hours into practices, sweat through every challenge, yes, all of the 7 challenges that Coach made us do that we barely made it through every year, and fought side by side through all the highs and lows. We've shared victories that felt sweeter because we earned them as a team. We faced setbacks that made us only strengthen our bond, like the one time we had stayed in the Santa Fe 1-star hotel on our way home. 0 stars. And we had to stay there, and it had brown water. We had to actually move the furniture in front of the doors for our safety, but we made it through. You are not just my teammates, but you guys are forever friends. The bonds we formed on the court will last a lifetime, and we couldn't have asked for a better group of girls. Yes, I'm talking about the nightly pizza experiences too. Somehow Sadaka got a special meal while the rest of us were having pizza for the 15th time. It's about the money. But we still talk about those things, and we wouldn't trade those memories for the world. Finally, we want to thank our fans, our families, our professors, and the amazing community of Valley City. Your support has been the driving force behind us for every year that we've been playing. The energy, the overflowing energy in the stands, the cheers from our loved ones, and the pride you all carried in our victories made each of our games so meaningful and our experiences playing together so unforgettable. As we cherish this achievement, let us truly remember that this induction symbolizes more than just an award. It embodies the incredible journey that we've shared. It's a powerful celebration of the commitment and boundfulness, passion that we've had for the game and for one another. To everyone who has been a part of this experience, thank you. Here's to the past, the present, and the future women's basketball team, a legacy that will forever live on in our hearts and minds of all that have been blessed to be a part of it. Thank you. I'm Katie Ralston-Berry, and I'm from Dahlin.
I'm Courtney Weatherspoon, and I'm from Bismarck.
I'm Sarah Eben, and I'm from Wyndham, Minnesota, now in Phoenix.
I'm Mariah Smith-Tussard from Tower City, here in the heart of Valley City still.
I'm Steph Peterson, Helsinki, and I'm in Mandan, North Dakota.
I'm Courtney Dixon Locke, and I live in Fargo.
I'm Melissa Hummel-Popple, and I'm in Watford City.
Kelsey Hunter Fuentes, and I'm in Billings, Montana.
I'm Brittany Lehner Evans, and I'm in Woodbury, Minnesota.
Okay, I hyphenated at Maher, so I apologize. Lavasta Glover-Verhagen, assistant coach. I'm originally from Miami, Florida, vis-a-vis Green Bay, Wisconsin, and yeah. Oh, hashtag post players.
Now it's my turn. I just want to tell you a little bit more about this team. So this team didn't just win games, but they have earned a place in Viking history through resilience, heart, and an unshakable commitment to each other. 13 years ago, we walked into the season opener against the 3-time defending national champions, Northwestern College in Iowa. But we didn't win. We didn't. We lost by 3. Yeah. Close doesn't count, Courtney. But what we gained that night was even more powerful. Belief that we could go toe-to-toe with anyone in the country. The next night, after being down by 14 at halftime, we finished the game on a 27-8 run, forcing 28 turnovers to get our first win of the season. And from there, this team went on a tear. We had 11 straight wins, even though the video said we only had 6 in a row. Some of those did count, you know. Some of the losses. Each one building momentum, building confidence, and most importantly, building character. We, as you heard, we finished the season 24-8. But in early January, we climbed to number 12 in the national rankings. The one thing I think that, I don't know that I gave them this, but I'd like to think that my competitive nature and hating to lose gave them just a little bit of a, I wouldn't say hatred, that'd be a really strong word, of the Jimmies and Mabel. So we might use that word? Okay. We wrapped up the year ranked 25th in the country, and but as impressive as the numbers were, they only really tell part of the story. Because this team right here was built on defense, toughness, and selflessness. Statistically, they were one of the best in program history, and the record books will back that up. The 2013 team set a record for most assists in a season. So they were very unselfish players. They played suffocating defense that ranks number 2 in program history by allowing just 58 points per game, and is number 3 all-time in steals, averaging almost 11 per game. That defensive intensity wasn't just a stat, it was truly their identity, and they took great pride in it. And so sometimes it seemed like games weren't very fun, but it was still fun to beat Jamestown 54-49. Now, I would have liked it to be 89-49, but I'll take 54. 9 players on the roster are now found in the VCSU record books, which tells you how deep, talented, and hardworking this team truly was. 2 of our seniors, Katie and Alyssa, reached the 1,000-point milestone during that season, a rare and elite achievement that reflects not only their scoring ability, but their consistency and leadership. And our 3rd senior, Courtney Titus, ranks number 2 in steals all time and number 7 in assists. Number 2 to Caitlyn. In late February, just a week before the playoffs, we suffered kind of a devastating blow because Katie went down for the 2nd year in a row with an injury against Mayville State. Damn comments. And you married one. Love you, Mickey.
Love you too.
And losing a senior leader at that moment could have broke some teams, but really not this one. Sophomore Steph Peterson stepped into a starting role and rose to the moment, becoming the star of the AII tournament. We really didn't have a conference, so when you see the things like the 2011 football team and the 2013 basketball team, we didn't truly have a conference. We were independent. Anyway, Steph had a fabulous game. She had 9 points and 9 rebounds from her guard position. And then in the rematch against Mayville State, the same team that we lost Katie to the week prior, Courtney erupted for 24 points, hitting 7 and 9 from beyond the arc. I think she might have made 7 total prior to that. She was amazing. It wasn't her job. It wasn't her job. But we really needed it that night. Yeah, we did. Unfortunately, we lost to the University of Jamestown the next night in Jamestown. Yeah, boo. That evening, honestly, that evening gets brought up. In the last 10, 15 years, that evening has gotten brought up more often than the game the night before, when we beat Mayville. And not for how we played, but truly for the class and the sportsmanship that this group showed. They stayed on the court. They congratulated the Jimmies on winning. And I've never been prouder of a team. You showed up for each other, you played unselfishly, and you never let the circumstance dictate your mindset. To the fans, families, and everyone who supported this group, thank you for believing in them and us and for helping build something truly special. To the players, you have earned this honor. You earned it every single day. I'm sure it echoes in some of your dreams on the line. Or things like, one of my famous ones, right? Amanda will say is, if the worst thing that ever happens to you in your life is that I hollered at you in practice, you're gonna have a pretty good life. You left a legacy that inspires the generations of Vikings that have followed you, and I am proud to have coached each and every one of you, but more importantly, I'm proud of the women that you have become. I feel like I'm a grandma when I come back to these things. I love it. I get to see all the kids. Congratulations, you've earned your place in Viking history.
Our last team inductee this evening is the 2011 Viking football team. They finished the 2011 season 9-2, undefeated in conference play and advanced to the NAIA playoffs, producing both the conference MVP and the senior of the year with multiple all-conference players. Here's a closer look back at the 2011 Viking football team.
The 2011 Viking football team earned the conference championship title and advanced to the NAIA National Playoffs. The 2011 team finished with a 9-2 overall record and 6-0 in the conference. VCSU also had AII Most Valuable Senior in Jordan Maher, a 2025 Hall of Fame inductee, and AII Most Valuable Player in Letheo Proctor. Ken Eliason, Cody Catal, Jordan Maher, Jake Thurston, Major Hop, Tommy Zinke, Letheo Proctor, and AJ Pfeiffer each earned all conference honors. The 2011 Viking football team.
Steve Becher, wasn't it cool to have colored uniforms? Representing the 2011 team for reflections of that particular season is Mr. Jordan Oz, who claims he had a great view watching everything as it took place.
I want to start by thanking Corey for allowing me to do what I do best, riding the coattails of others' success, so thank you. My name is Jordan Oss. I grew up here in Valley City. I was fortunate to be a very minuscule piece of this 2011 football team. And I can't thank Corey and the foundation staff, Kim Hesh, and everybody else involved for putting this thing together. Thank you very much. First of all, we had a very special time. I was fortunate to be at Valley City State from 2010 to 2014. I believe we're represented by 3 different groups in the Hall of Fame from tonight. Whether it's our women's basketball teams, we had a men's basketball team make a national tournament appearance, and of course our 2011 football team, and then again in 2014, make an appearance in the national playoffs. And to me, that's a testament to the people of Valley City State University. Whether it's faculty, staff, coaches, the community members, everybody, the people, really make this place special. Thankfully, Jordan Maher summarized the entire 2011 season, so it's really going to shorten my speech tonight. So I just do want to talk about that 2011 team. In my opinion, like Corey said, I had the best view in the stadium. I was fortunate to be on the sideline, got in on a couple of kickoffs, punt returns. But in between those really important plays, I got to see the Jordan Mahers, the Letheo Proctors, the Tommy Zinkes really make a difference on the field, and I'm going to talk about them tonight. I'm going to be the voice of our 2011 football team. Before we talk about 2011, it's important to recognize what happened before 2011. I grew up in Valley City. I was a Highliner. The most important day was Saturday to go watch VCSU football. Whether it was the 05 team, the 2000, the 01 team, I grew up thinking Valley City football was the biggest deal in town. Now there just happened to be another university in North Dakota that maybe went on a dynasty run at the same time as our 2011 conference championship. And there may or may not have been people that left Valley City to drive 60 miles east to watch those games. Well, the people in this room didn't do that. So thank you, all right? We had a very special thing going here in Valley City, and I grew up watching it. I was fortunate to be, again, a very small piece of that. People like Trent Kozel, Kevin Strang were on teams previously in Valley City State football history. Joe Marsh is back there as well. That laid the foundation for the success of the 2011 football team. So I want to thank those teams and give them a round of applause first. So when we get to 2011, we've got a brand new quarterback in Tommy Zinke. Nobody knows what he's going to do. He's left-handed, so he throws weird and it looks weird. Everyone's scared. But Tommy stepped up to the plate. All right? He's a first-time starting quarterback, and he led the way on offense for this team. This team was led by senior leadership, and I want to recognize those seniors starting on starting on defense. Our defensive player of the year, Jordan Maher, who was previously inducted into our Hall of Fame, our conference defensive player of the year. Please give him a round of applause. Offensively, we are led by one of the most talented players in the country, in my opinion. One of the best wide receivers I've ever seen play in person, Letheo Proctor, so please give him a round of applause. In addition to those two players, I want to recognize the following seniors on defense: Bergad, Renner, Kilithau. I noticed they mispronounced that in the video. Kilithau represent Hawaii over there. Jermaine, Iedo, Ivan, and Garrett Jackson, who I believe saved a year of eligibility, and I think Garrett played 9 years for Valley City State. Offensively, the seniors I want to recognize are AJ Pfeiffer, Bernardo, Kevin Murphy, Major Hop, and John Zimba. Please give them a round of applause. Now, we had a great group of players, but those players, like Jordan Maher maybe alluded to, needed direction. And that direction came from an exceptional staff. And I want to recognize the staff of that 2011 football team. Coach Dennis McCulloch, Coach Horner, Coach Rube, Coach Costello, Coach Higgins, Coach O'Day, Coach Pecoraro. Please give them a round of applause. I also want to recognize the student assistants from that year, Brian Neiman, Kevin Bauer, and Megan McCulloch as well. Like I said, Jordan did a great job of summarizing that season, so I'm not going to. What you need to know is that year started off with adversity. We're playing one of the top teams in the country, Morningside College, at home. I don't know if Jordan mentioned this, but the field turf debuted that night, I believe, back in 2011. Valley City State had played on grass for 90-ish years. That field turf was a big deal. Shelly Ellick donated money, and that had the Stop and Go logo on it up until last year. The last Stop and Go logo in existence, I think. If you go to the game tomorrow, you're going to see that brand new turf field, and we're excited about that. Thank you to everybody here that helped raise the money for that. But 2011 was a special night debuting that new turf. Started off tough. Lost that first one to Morningside, nationally ranked team. But this team really showed what I think characterized it best. Battle through adversity. Went on to win 9 games straight. Tied for a school record. 9 games in a row. Jordan alluded to it, but it was on the road in Dickinson in week 2. In a very fortunate series of events, a Hail Mary from Tommy Zinke to Letheo Proctor, a spike, which allegedly ran out of time, but we went back to the clock and allegedly there was 0.2 seconds left. One more offensive play from the 5-yard line. Rocky Balboa's not here tonight, but Nick Schoenecker. If you guys know Nick Schoenecker, he's the least athletic receiver I've ever seen. But he's got the best hands and runs the best routes that we've ever seen as well. And he caught the game-winning touchdown. And that was the catalyst for the 2011 football team. After that win in Dickinson, we again rattled off 8 more wins. And again, that comes back to a great staff, great senior leadership, great position players, really a truly team effort. So as we go through the season, again, 8 in a row, we finished the season 9-1. There was a playoff game that we're not going to talk about, but it was a great trip out to Helena, Montana. After that, we came straight home. I don't remember if the game happened or not, but it was a great facility. But most importantly, that was a 9-1 football team. That was the best team in the Dakota Athletic Conference in the end of an era. Right? That's a very special team in my opinion. In addition to the seniors, this team had 90 other players on it that contributed every day. A couple of my best friends are sitting back there and we were talking about our role on this team. Now, we might not have been the star players that I've mentioned previously, but we have very important jobs as well. Trevor Gortz is sitting in the middle back there. And just like if you owned a Ferrari, you're not going to drive that Ferrari every day during the week. So AJ Pfeiffer, our starting running back, made sure to wear the blue jersey during the week or keep him fresh for the weekend drives. So Trevor Gortz got to take every single rep in practice. While our Ferrari, AJ Pfeiffer, was working on his hamstrings, shin splints, I can't remember exactly what it was. But then he had 30 carries on Saturday. So thanks to the SUVs like Trevor Gortz putting in the reps during the week and none of the credit, right? Football is a unique sport. Steve alluded to it earlier. Steve, your mustache looks incredible. I hope I have the same future. It's just incredible. Football is a team game where we have 11 starters on both sides of the ball. We have 115 athletes on the team. Every single one of those 115 athletes has a job, an important role. Whether it's the Cat Squad true freshman players on this team, or whether it's our all-conference offensive, defensive players of the year. Everybody has a role in getting a team ready. And again, like I alluded to, the people on this team make sure that happened every week. This team was molded through the process of Viking brotherhood. You heard Steve talk about it in the Do era. Coach Mack has continued that tradition, and it is ingrained with every VCSU football player that comes through. The Viking brotherhood, when I think about it, really focuses on the following aspects: accountability, responsibility, toughness, and a relentless effort. When I think about accountability, I think of how we, as Valley City State University student athletes, are held to a higher standard. We're an institution rooted in education, training educators, training great coaches, great teachers. When I think about those people, I think about the people that can't be here tonight because they're coaching a high school football game tonight. Guys like Tyler Kozel, Eric Burgad, Jake Schauer, Kevin Murphy. Two of those guys are playing each other tonight, so I don't know who we're rooting for in the Central South game. Right? The accountability of Viking football, and not just football, but Viking athletics, whether it was Coach DeVries in basketball, whether it was softball, whether it was our men's basketball program, all shared a similar relentless accountability for their student athletes. When I think about responsibility, like the women's basketball team alluded to, we went to class 2. Most of us anyway, not 100% sure on Maher, but he did graduate. Right? We talk about Viking time from Coach Mack. That's carried with us through our professional lives, I believe all of us. No matter the background or profession we've chosen, that responsibility instilled in us from this program has helped us get to this stage in our life. When I think about toughness, I hear a lot of Pink Flamingo talk, and for those of you who don't know, just to educate you, that was a residence in Valley City that football players lived at and studied a lot, and that's all it was. And that house doesn't exist anymore because of the new flood plain and the flood walls, and that's probably not a bad thing. But when I think of toughness, I think of the defensive line. Jordan Maher's group, not just him. Pat Perner over there, our other defensive linemen in the house tonight. I was terrified of our defensive line. I was an offensive guy. They had a level of toughness that I had never seen before. And that's what made our defense a force. That was a mentality that group, our linebackers, our secondary, carried not just in games, but in practice every single day. And lastly, a relentless effort. Defensive players I was always jealous of because they got to always say, Gator. Gator. Get after that something. You're going to give a relentless effort to finish every single play. Now on offense, we tried to emulate that as best we could. We tried to finish every snap to the end of the whistle. But Coach Horner and his defensive staff did an amazing job in instilling a relentless effort with every one of our football players during that era, and he continues to do so. A relentless effort for that team is truly what I believe helped them carry them through adversity. So real quickly, Coach Horner. Coach Horner's been with Coach Mack how many years now? 32 years. Mack, Horner, Root. Please give them a round of applause. As I'm closing here, I want the 2011 team to stand up and start making their way down here so we can make sure to open the bar up back as soon as I'm done talking and Coach Mack's talking. So guys, as soon as I'm done, please come down. And my closing remarks, I again want to come back to the people. Whether it's faculty, staff, presidents, coaches, players. The people are what make this place special. This team was special because of the people. The influence of everybody in our lives as student athletes helped instill qualities that would make us better fathers, husbands, teachers, coaches, leaders in business, and most importantly, good men. Thank you and congratulations to the 2011 VCSU football team and to the induction of the Hall of Fame.
Receive their certificates and walk across the stage and let us know your name and where you're from, where you are. As they do this, I want to say one other thing about that team is that 2011 championship team was the first of 4 in a row, which had never been done in the storied history of VCSU football.
Running back, Fargo, North Dakota.
Philip Ryer, wide receiver, grew up in Mulberry, South Dakota, and now live in San Diego.
Ryan Neiman, grew up in Clear Lake, South Dakota, and now live in Sioux Falls.
Tommy Zinke, quarterback, grew up in Rawl, North Dakota, living in Fargo, North Dakota now. Just a quick shout out to Steve and Jim Dew. Didn't realize you guys have number 14 as well, so shout out to number 14.
Jake Thurston from Botany, linebacker, living in Minot.
Jermaine Marcellus from Miami, Florida, defensive back. Somehow they tricked me to come up here, but I love this summer here, so I appreciate it, but I moved back to Miami, Florida.
Dusty Renner, Brittany, South Dakota, now lives in Charlotte, North Carolina.
AJ Pfeiffer from Buffalo, North Dakota, currently in Buffalo.
Theo Proctor, I graduated from Anchorage, Alaska, was born in Washington, D.C., and now live in Fargo, North Dakota.
Major offensive line from Lac, Minnesota, and now reside in the home of Jake Thurston in Botany, North Dakota.
Josh Huey, linebacker, Fargo and Fargo.
Alex Huey, linebacker, Fargo, and live in Fargo.
Gary Jackson, defensive end, Fairbanks, Alaska.
Aaron Frazier, quarterback, from Fargo, Jamestown.
Tom Russell, Deer River, Minnesota, currently reside in Deer River, Minnesota.
Jordan Owen from St. Paul, Minnesota, O-line, live in Fergus Falls.
Chad Johnson, tight end, Towner, North Dakota.
Kevin Bauer, student assistant from Winter, now in West Fargo.
So I have to introduce myself to the team too, probably. I was the freshman scout tackle from Man in North Dakota.
As far as I know, I am the first athletic trainer that has been included with a team. So thank you guys. You are
All right, thanks to that team. And finally, we're going to bring up to the stage Millbank, South Dakota has got two representatives in the VCSU Hall of Fame. Caitlyn, do you know who the other one is? Travis Lester. Travis Lester and Caitlyn, and at some point in time when he is ever down at VCSU with his coaching, the third one for Millbank will be the next man to speak here, Coach Dennis.
So Coach Horner handed me this $50 to make sure I don't cry, and I'm done in 2 minutes. So here you go. This is a donation to the foundation. First of all, just on behalf of Viking Athletics, I want to say thanks. Appreciate it. Thank you. I want to recognize Anna Bratch. Where's Anna? Is Anna still here? Oh, she snuck out. Anna is our Associate Athletic Director and Head Athletic Trainer, and she does an amazing job. Steve Olson is our Assistant Athletic Director, Game Day Management, and he's working at the bubble where there's a volleyball game in athletic development, and they are amazing. They've done a great job, and appreciate all they do. I am the Athletic Director and Head Football Coach. The only reason that's happened because of Dr. Alan Lefebvre. Appreciate you giving me this opportunity. And the only reason it works is we really have amazing people and coaches that do a fantastic job of making me look good. And that's their only job, is to make me look good, which is not easy. So I truly appreciate what they do and their hard work. I congratulate Jill DeVries. Jill did an amazing job when she was here, and truly a great representative to be in the Viking Hall of Fame, and congratulations. So we watched some amazing basketball, and I would still tell you it's still about recruiting and you getting that Millbank connection. Thank you for leaving Sioux Falls. Caitlyn Wojahn, that was an awesome pickup by our team, and Brittany, you guys did an amazing job, and congratulations on your award. And now there are 3 great people that came out of Millbank. One coaches at Alabama, and now Travis Lester, and now Caitlyn. So you guys have done a great job of representing Millbank, South Dakota. Also congratulate Steve, well deserved. Finally, you don't have to take as much crap on the golf course now for those guys, so that's going to help a lot. So congratulations, well deserved. And Jordan, where's Jordan at? Is he still here? Oh, Jordan over here. Congratulations. You also made Coach Horner and I look really good. So appreciate all you've done, and amazing. I am going to be very short, and just want to remind everybody in this room to be Viking. You guys have passion. You had passion when you were here. You love the university. You loved your time, your teammates, the program that you were in. The foundation office, Corey Anderson, has made it very easy for you guys to give back to your program. And I know how passionate you guys are. You care about, right, the things when you were here, and how much you appreciate the fact of the staff, the coaches, right, and every opportunity you had. I just bring it up because we need and continue to need the support, and your programs need those supports. So you have passion about women's basketball, right? Find ways to be Viking. And it doesn't always have to be I'm writing checks, right? It's your support of helping us find great student athletes like yourself. Your support in saying positive things about the university and say what your experience was to others and how great it was when you were here and the things that you have done, right? And of course, right? The foundation does take checks, I think, Corey, right? Those things still can happen, and you guys, right? It is extremely important for us in a very competitive environment out there for us to still be able to go out and find and recruit high-level quality young men and women to support Viking athletics. We are not coaches, right? I've done a great job. I've been here for 32 years, not because of my good looks and personality, right? We have had success. What have I done well? Hire right, hire good people that do your job, that do their job at a high level, work hard, and recruit great student athletes. That's why you're successful. And that success comes from your support, right? And the things that we have to go out and attract them here. Okay? The amazing new facility that's going up, and I know you guys are seeing the digging. You're going to soon see a new building go up. We're extremely excited about that building, what it's going to be for Viking athletics. Thank you. We mentioned Larry Robinson, and Larry was very passionate and behind that, and truly appreciate his passion. Again, our foundation office has done a tremendous job of leading that. Corey has done an amazing job of getting that building to where it's at today, and we can't wait until next August to be in it, and it will make a huge and dramatic impact. And I do, not because he pays my rights, signs my checks, and I hope to get raises, but we have an amazing president, and I want you guys all to recognize how lucky we are, his support for Viking athletics. He shows up to every game. I know it was hard to him tonight to be here instead of the volleyball game. He is passionate about our athletic program and supports us in so many ways. We are truly lucky. And he's from South Dakota, which makes it a major benefit. So thank you. And Corey didn't tell his stupid joke about the shoes either yet, so about South Dakota. And so we do. Let's give Dr. Allen a favor. So, again, guys, I just want to thank you. I'm proud of this football team. I wish they could all tell their stories. Because individually, they all have amazing stories to how they got to here. How do you get to be a college athlete? First of all, how do you get to be a senior as a college athlete? We have, when you look at this group of guys, the diversity, where they came from, has been an honor, right, for me to coach these young men. The one thing when I showed up to Valley City State from Coach Dew, when you look at his rosters, it didn't matter where they're from. What matters are you good people. Can you play football and you want a good degree, right? That's what I learned. And we've modeled that piece. We've been very blessed to go out and get the best young men and young athletes to come here no matter where they were from. And they have been amazing people. Cody Kilthoff said, right, he talked about how great this team got along as people. I stand in front of you today and tell you, doesn't matter where you're from, color of your skin, sexual orientation, what politics you are, right? You can get along. And we can work hard together, and you can love each other, respect each other, okay, and battle together. These guys proved it, okay? They proved it. And they're still good people, friends, care about each other, okay? I'm truly proud of you guys. Coach Wojahn and I are blessed to be here 32 years. He is stupid to put up with me for 32 years. But Coach Wojahn and I are both blessed for the young men that we have been involved in our lives. To be able to do this job for as long as we have, we are truly blessed. We have a great, been really an honor of ours to do this and to call you guys our coach. All right? Thank you guys for everything. Appreciate you guys. The last thing we're going to do, Dr. LeFave, he stood in front of all of our athletes during, we have a ice cream social. We welcome all of our athletes in, and he kind of showed me up on how well to sing the school fight song. So I'm going to bring him up, and he's going to lead us in the fight song because he says, Mac, The fight song actually has a tune to it. I just kind of yell it. So I'm going to let Dr. LeFave lead us in the fight song. So we're all going to stand up. And thank you, Dr. LeFave.
Jordan, I hear it.
By the way, VCSU wins over Dickinson State 3-1. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Okay, let's start the clapping.
All right, let's go.
Sing it with me if you know it. VCS, we love you. VCS, we're all true. We show our great adoration for that sweet thing. Rah, rah, rah. Always loyal, let them know we're VCS, let's do what's here. Rah, 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 rah. VCS, rah, rah. We're all VCS.
What did we do? I'm the one that's...